Chosen ones, hear me now. The hour of reckoning has come, and the universe is no longer silent. They thought they could outrun their karma, mock the divine order, and defy the hand of God. But the time for mercy has passed. Judgment is here. For too long, they have cast shadows over the light, dismissing the truth and rejecting those who were sent to lead. But their actions have not gone unnoticed. The laws of the cosmos demand balance, and the seeds of their deception and betrayal are now bearing bitter fruit. This is not just a moment, it is the moment. The divine plan is unfolding before your eyes. Stay with me, because what I am about to reveal will shake the very foundation of what you thought you knew. The chosen are rising, and their victory is written in the stars. Will you stand firm in the face of this divine judgment, or will you falter as the truth unfolds? Declare it boldly by writing, "I am standing," in the comments below. But before we go deeper into this divine revelation, I need your help. These spiritual messages are meant to reach those who need them most, but we face challenges in spreading this light to a wider audience. By liking this video and subscribing to our channel, you become part of a greater mission. Your support isn't just a simple action. It's a powerful step toward amplifying these messages and awakening others to their divine calling. Let's rise together and dive into the truth that's waiting for us. The arrival of divine justice. The time has come when the long-anticipated judgment can no longer be delayed. God's justice has arrived, not as a whisper or a distant promise, but as a roaring tide sweeping through every corner of existence. For too long, those who defied divine laws have acted as though they were untouchable, building their castles on the sand of arrogance and deceit. Now, the tide rises, washing away their false foundations and leaving nothing but the stark truth in its wake. This is not a random moment or an accident of fate. It is the culmination of divine patience, reaching the point where mercy gives way to accountability. The Creator's patience is vast, but it is not endless. There was a time when opportunities were given, countless chances to turn back, to seek forgiveness, and to mend the broken threads of morality. But those who stood against the laws of the universe chose instead to ignore these opportunities, mistaking divine forbearance for approval. Imagine a fire that has been allowed to smolder for years, unnoticed and unchecked. At first it seems harmless, barely more than smoke on the horizon, but eventually that fire consumes everything in its path, leaving no escape. This is the state of those who thought they could outwit the divine. They now stand surrounded by the consequences of their actions, with no place to hide. Judgment comes not just as punishment, but as a necessary rebalancing of the scales. In this world, every action carries weight, and over time, the scales of justice can tip dangerously to one side. For too long, the misdeeds of the defiant have tilted the balance, creating a world where lies appeared stronger than truth and cruelty seemed to overpower kindness. But now, the hand of the divine reaches out to reset those scales. It is a force as unyielding as gravity, ensuring that every action, no matter how small, is met with its rightful consequence. This is not an act of vengeance, but one of cosmic alignment, restoring order where chaos once reigned. The balance of the universe is like a finely woven tapestry. Each thread represents a choice, an action, a life. When threads are pulled out of alignment, when people act against divine order, the entire design begins to fray. But now, the master weaver is at work, pulling those threads back into place with precision and care. It is not an easy or painless process. For those who have resisted the natural flow of harmony, it feels like a tearing, a breaking down of everything they thought was secure. Yet it is necessary to preserve the greater beauty of the whole. This moment of reckoning is not hidden. It is as visible as the breaking of a storm. Those who once held power through deceit and manipulation find their influence crumbling before their eyes. Their downfall is not a quiet one. It is as loud and undeniable as thunder, a sign to all who witness it that divine justice is not to be taken lightly. Just as a storm clears the air and refreshes the earth, this judgment serves to cleanse the world of the darkness that has lingered for far too long. God's judgment is not rushed, nor is it reckless. It is deliberate and precise, targeting the root of the problem rather than its surface. The defiant, who believed they were invincible, now find themselves exposed. Their secrets are laid bare, their deeds brought into the light. It is as though the soil beneath them has been stripped away, leaving them with nowhere to plant their feet. But for the chosen ones, this moment is a vindication. Their years of perseverance, faith, and endurance were not in vain. The light that was once obscured now shines on them, lifting them higher as the defiant fall. The arrival of divine justice is a profound shift, not just for individuals, but for the entire cosmic order. It is the resetting of a compass, pointing humanity back toward truth and righteousness. In this moment, every action finds its answer, every seed bears its fruit, and every soul faces the undeniable weight of its choices. The hand of God moves, not to destroy, but to restore, ensuring that harmony and balance are upheld for all eternity. The rise of the chosen ones. The chosen ones are stepping into their destined roles, rising like lighthouses in a world consumed by darkness. These individuals, who have often walked a lonely and misunderstood path, now find themselves at the forefront of a divine transformation. They are not ordinary people. Their spirits were set apart long ago, shaped through trials and hardships to prepare them for this moment. Like diamonds formed under pressure, their resilience and clarity have made them fit to lead, to guide, and to protect during this critical time. In this era of divine reckoning, the chosen ones are more than just participants. They are key instruments in the Creator's plan. They serve as messengers, delivering truths that are often uncomfortable but necessary. Their words cut through deceit, bringing clarity where there was confusion, much like a morning sun, burning away the fog. These chosen souls also act as protectors, standing as shields for the vulnerable, ensuring that the weak and weary are not swept away by the chaos that surrounds them. Their rise is not one of arrogance or self-promotion. It is a quiet, steady ascent, like the growing strength of a tree whose roots run deep. They do not demand attention, yet they command it by their actions and their unwavering faith. Each step they take is guided by a force greater than themselves, a divine compass that ensures they remain on the righteous path. The light within them grows brighter, illuminating not only their own journey, but also the paths of those who seek guidance. The chosen ones carry a unique mark of divine favor, an invisible yet undeniable shield that protects them from the storms around them. While others crumble under the weight of judgment and chaos, they stand firm, their spirits untouched. Imagine a flower blooming in the heart of a desert, surrounded by barrenness, yet thriving because its source of nourishment is not external. The chosen ones are sustained by a divine energy that flows directly into them, empowering them to endure and thrive even in the harshest conditions. This divine favor is not a reward, but a responsibility. It is a sacred trust placed upon them, one they carry with humility and grace. Their protection is not for their benefit alone, but to ensure they can fulfill their mission. The enemies who once sought to harm them find their efforts thwarted, as though they are striking against an impenetrable wall. Every arrow of malice falls harmlessly to the ground, deflected by the unseen hand of the Creator. The rise of the Chosen Ones is accompanied by a profound isolation, a spiritual quarantine that separates them from the toxicity and negativity of their enemies. This isolation is not loneliness, but a divine act of preservation. Just as a gardener carefully prunes and protects a young plant from invasive weeds, the Creator ensures that the Chosen Ones are shielded from influences that could hinder their growth. They are set apart, not out of punishment, but out of necessity, so that their light can shine undisturbed. This spiritual quarantine often manifests as a detachment from old relationships, environments, or systems that no longer align with their purpose. It can feel like being placed in a cocoon, where they are hidden from the world for a time, allowed to heal and transform in preparation for the tasks ahead. While the enemies plot and scheme, the Chosen Ones are kept out of reach, their steps guided to places where they can flourish. This separation is not rejection, but protection, a sacred space where they can draw closer to the divine. Even as they are isolated from negativity, the Chosen Ones find themselves surrounded by an unseen army of support. Angels, spiritual guides, and divine forces work tirelessly to ensure their safety and success. It is as though they walk through a battlefield, yet no harm comes to them because an impenetrable force field shields them. Their enemies may wonder why their plans fail, why their traps never ensnare the Chosen Ones, but the answer lies in this divine intervention. The Chosen Ones, though set apart, are not alone. They are united in spirit, forming an unbroken chain of light that stretches across the world. Their individual flames may seem small, but together they create a blaze that no darkness can extinguish. They draw strength not only from the divine, but also from one another, a collective energy that reinforces their resolve and amplifies their impact. This rise of the Chosen Ones is not temporary. It is a permanent shift in the balance of power. They are no longer hidden or silenced. Instead, they are stepping boldly into the roles they were always meant to fulfill. They are the messengers, the protectors, and the leaders of a new era, walking in the favor and strength of the Creator. Through their presence and actions, they become living proof of the divine promise, shining examples of what it means to walk in purpose and truth. The downfall of the defiant. The collapse of those who opposed the Chosen Ones has become a striking spectacle, a vivid display of divine justice unfolding in real time. Their downfall is not hidden in the shadows, but exposed for all to see, like the crumbling of a once mighty tower that dominated the skyline. What was built on lies and deception is now falling apart brick by brick, and every collapse sends a shockwave that cannot be ignored. This public reckoning serves as a loud and undeniable warning, a reminder that no one is beyond the reach of divine justice. Those who mocked the Chosen Ones, who ridiculed their faith and principles, now find themselves caught in the very snares they set for others. Their suffering is not random or undeserved. It is a direct reflection of their actions. Like a mirror held up to their souls, their pain reveals the consequences of their choices. Each sickness, each loss, and each moment of isolation is a harsh but necessary teacher, forcing them to confront the harm they caused. It is as though the universe has become a stage where their deeds are played out in reverse, allowing them to experience the suffering they inflicted. Imagine a stone thrown into a pond. The ripples spread outward, but they eventually return to the point of origin. In the same way, their cruelty and malice have come back to them, amplified by the justice they tried so desperately to escape. For some, this mirror of suffering manifests as physical illness, a visible and undeniable sign of the inner corruption that has taken root. Their bodies reflect their souls, weighed down by the darkness they embraced. For others, it is the loss of power, influence, or relationships. Those things they once held onto so tightly, now slipping through their fingers like sand. And for many, it is isolation, a painful reminder of the connections they destroyed through their selfishness and deceit. In their solitude, they are left with nothing but their own thoughts, forced to reckon with the truth they tried so hard to avoid. This reckoning is not only a result of their own actions, but also the work of heavenly agents operating behind the scenes. Angels of justice, unseen but ever present, dismantle the carefully constructed plans of the defiant. These forces move with precision, targeting the roots of evil and unraveling schemes that were thought to be foolproof. It is as though an invisible hand is reaching into the enemy's strongholds, pulling apart their foundations piece by piece. The enemies may feel the effects, but they cannot see the source, leaving them bewildered and powerless against the forces working against them. These unseen agents are not random entities. They are purposeful and deliberate, carrying out the will of the Creator with unwavering resolve. They are like a hidden army, operating in silence but leaving undeniable evidence of their work. Every failed plot, every exposed lie, and every unexpected consequence is a testament to their presence. The defiant may try to regroup, to rebuild what has been lost, but their efforts are futile. It is as though they are trying to climb a mountain while the ground crumbles beneath their feet. The downfall of the defiant is a humbling process, stripping away the layers of arrogance and pride that once defined them. They are no longer the figures of authority and control they once portrayed themselves to be. Instead, they are laid bare, their vulnerabilities exposed for all to see. This stripping away is not just about punishment, it is about revelation. The masks they wore are torn off, revealing the true nature of their intentions and actions. The spectacle of their fall serves as a cautionary tale for others, a living example of what happens when one stands against divine order. It is a message written not with words but with the lives of those who chose the path of defiance. Their suffering, while deeply personal, resonates beyond themselves, touching those who witness it and planting seeds of reflection. It is a sobering reminder that actions have consequences, that the universe operates on principles that cannot be defied without cost. The defiant, once so sure of their power, now find themselves at the mercy of forces far greater than themselves. They are like captains of sinking ships, desperately trying to bail out water, even as the vessel tilts and sinks into the depths. But this sinking is not the end. It is a turning point. Whether they choose to learn from their downfall or continue in denial will determine the course of their future. The work of heavenly agents ensures that justice is served, not just as retribution, but as a necessary act of restoration. Their dismantling of the enemy's plans creates space for renewal, clearing away the debris of defiance to make room for something better. This is not a chaotic process, but a carefully orchestrated one, a divine symphony in which every note serves a purpose. As the downfall of the Defiant continues, the world watches and the lessons become clear. No one can stand against the will of the Creator and escape unscathed. The choices made in defiance of divine laws will always lead back to the one who made them, creating a cycle of accountability that cannot be broken. The suffering of the Defiant is a reflection of their actions, a mirror that does not lie, and the unseen forces working against them are a reminder that justice, though often delayed, is always delivered. Redemption and responsibility. The path to redemption is not closed, even for those who have defied divine law. It remains open, but narrow, requiring humility and sincerity. Redemption is not a simple apology or a fleeting moment of regret. It demands deep, transformative repentance. It is like a journey through a narrow canyon, where the walls press in on every side, leaving no room for pride or pretension. Those who wish to walk this path must strip away the layers of ego and deceit that once defined them. This process is not easy. It is a painful shedding of the old self, much like a snake shedding its skin to reveal something new beneath. True repentance requires more than words. It calls for action and sacrifice. It is not enough to acknowledge wrongdoing. One must actively work to repair the harm caused. This may mean seeking forgiveness from those they have wronged, making amends where possible, or dedicating themselves to acts of kindness and service. These sacrifices are like planting seeds in barren soil, small and seemingly insignificant at first, but with time and care, they have the potential to grow into something beautiful and life-giving. For those who choose this path, the journey is one of self-discovery and transformation. They are forced to confront their deepest fears and flaws, to face the truth of who they are without the masks they once wore. It is as though they are standing before a mirror that reflects not just their outer appearance, but the state of their soul. In this mirror, they see both their failings and their potential, a sobering yet hopeful image that urges them to strive for something better. The chosen ones, too, have their role to play in this divine unfolding. Their ascent is not without purpose. They are entrusted with a sacred responsibility to act as stewards of justice and compassion. This is not a role they can take lightly, for with great power comes great accountability. They are like shepherds, tasked with guiding a flock through treacherous terrain. Their actions must be guided by wisdom and humility, for their influence extends far beyond themselves. The chosen ones must also learn to balance strength with compassion. It is easy to look upon the downfall of their enemies with satisfaction, but they are called to a higher standard. They must remember that redemption is possible for all, and that their own rise is not just a reward, but a call to serve. Their role is not to condemn, but to uplift, to be examples of grace and forgiveness, even in the face of past wrongs. This requires a deep and abiding faith, a trust that the divine plan is unfolding as it should, and that their part in it is vital. Witnessing the judgment of the defiant is a powerful experience for the chosen ones. It is both a confirmation of their faith and a preparation for their purpose. Seeing the consequences of actions laid bare strengthens their understanding of divine justice, showing them that every choice carries weight. It is like watching a master artist at work, where every stroke of the brush contributes to a larger, more beautiful picture. They begin to see their own lives as part of this masterpiece, each decision and action contributing to the greater good. At the same time, this witnessing deepens their sense of responsibility. They understand that they are not merely observers, but active participants in this divine plan. Their faith is tested and refined, much like gold in a furnace, becoming purer and stronger with each trial. They learn that their purpose is not just about their own rise, but about serving as beacons of hope and truth in a world that often seems lost. For the chosen ones, these lessons are both a burden and a blessing. They are reminded that their role is not an easy one, but it is a necessary one. They are called to walk a path that is often lonely and challenging, yet filled with meaning and purpose. It is a path that requires constant vigilance, a commitment to remain true to their calling even when the road ahead is unclear. The enemies, too, have a role to play in this divine drama. Their downfall serves as a stark warning, a visible reminder of the consequences of defying divine law. Yet even in their suffering, they are given an opportunity to choose a different path. Their role is not to be forever condemned, but to serve as examples of what happens when one turns away from truth and justice, and more importantly, what can happen when one chooses to return to it. In this unfolding story of redemption and responsibility, every individual has a part to play. The chosen ones rise as leaders and protectors, while their enemies are given the chance to transform and heal. Together, they contribute to a greater plan, one that is far beyond human understanding, but deeply rooted in divine wisdom. This is not a story of winners and losers, but of restoration and renewal, where every choice matters and every soul has the potential to shine. The bigger picture. As the dust settles and the judgment unfolds, a new era begins to emerge, one marked by balance, harmony, and divine alignment. This is not simply the end of chaos, but the dawn of a world where justice and truth reign supreme. The chosen ones, having risen through trials and carried the weight of responsibility, step into their roles as stewards of this transformed reality. They are like gardeners, tending a once neglected field, sowing seeds of hope and nurturing growth where despair once ruled. In this new era, the energy of the world feels different. It is as though the air itself carries a sense of renewal, a promise of something better. The systems and structures that once oppressed and divided are dismantled, replaced by foundations built on fairness and compassion. This is a time when accountability is no longer feared but embraced, as it ensures that every action contributes to the greater good. It is a world where light prevails over darkness, not through force, but through the collective efforts of those committed to living in alignment with divine principles. The chosen ones, having endured isolation and spiritual refinement, now find themselves deeply connected to one another and to the divine source. They are no longer solitary figures, but part of a larger tapestry, woven together by their shared purpose. Each of them plays a unique role, bringing their individual strengths and insights to the collective mission. They are like the instruments in an orchestra, each producing a distinct sound, but coming together to create a symphony that resonates across the world. This new world is not without challenges, but the foundation laid during the time of judgment ensures that solutions arise from a place of integrity. Conflicts may still occur, but they are resolved with wisdom and understanding, rather than selfishness and deceit. The chosen ones, as leaders and guides, model this approach, showing by example how to navigate difficulties with grace and humility. Their presence is like a steady lighthouse in a storm, offering guidance and reassurance to all who seek it. The transformation is not limited to the chosen ones or those who have faced judgment. It extends to every corner of creation, touching even those who have yet to awaken to their purpose. The world itself seems to breathe easier, as though relieved of a heavy burden. Nature flourishes, communities thrive, and individuals find a sense of meaning and connection that had long eluded them. This is a time of rebuilding, not just of physical structures, but of relationships, values, and dreams. At the heart of this era is a profound understanding of interconnectedness. People begin to see that their actions ripple outward, influencing not just their immediate surroundings, but the entire web of existence. This awareness fosters a sense of responsibility and mindfulness as individuals strive to contribute positively to the whole. It is like a single drop of water falling into a pond, creating ripples that expand infinitely, touching every part of the surface. While the vision of this new era is inspiring, it is also a reminder that the work is far from over. The chosen ones and all who align with the divine plan must remain vigilant, ensuring that the lessons of the past are not forgotten. Complacency has no place in this journey, as the forces of darkness will always seek to regain their footing. The balance achieved must be maintained through ongoing commitment and effort, much like a fire that requires constant tending to keep its warmth alive. The messages of hope, redemption, and responsibility are not just for the chosen ones. They are for everyone. These truths have the power to inspire and transform lives, but only if they reach those who need to hear them. In a world overflowing with distractions, it is crucial to amplify these messages, ensuring they cut through the noise and find their way to open hearts and minds. If you believe in the importance of this mission, take a moment to help spread the light. Support this channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing its content. These simple actions, much like planting a seed, may seem small, but hold the potential for enormous impact. Together, we can ensure that these powerful messages reach those who are searching for guidance, those who need hope, and those who are ready to step into their purpose. The vision of a world transformed is not a distant dream. It is a reality waiting to unfold, shaped by the choices we make today. The chosen ones have their role to play, but so does every individual who feels the call to align with truth and justice. Let this message be a beacon, a rallying cry for all who seek a brighter future. The time to act is now, and the way forward is clear.